What if Obi-Wan Kenobi joined Anakin on Mustafar in Revenge of the Sith? That is our story for today, so let's dive in. The sky above Mustafar churned with smoke and fire, the entire planet alive with the rage of creation. Rivers of lava cut through the blackened surface like molten veins, their light reflecting off the cold steel of the separatist refinery. From the heavens, a sleek Naboo star cruiser descended through the ash. Inside, Padme Amidala stood trembling at the viewport. Her hands clutched her stomach, her eyes glistening with tears. The man she loved, the man who had once vowed to save the galaxy, was now the very monster consuming it. The ship landed. The ramp lowered. Heat hit her face as she stepped onto the platform, the air thick with smoke and despair. And there he was, Anakin Skywalker, tall, shrouded in black, the firelight flickering across his scarred face. The once golden light of his eyes was now tainted with a faint sulfur glow. She ran to him, tears already falling. "Anakin, I was so worried about you." His gaze softened for a moment, then hardened again. "I saw your ship. What are you doing out here, Padme?" "Obi-Wan told me terrible things," she said. "He said you turned to the dark side, that you killed younglings. Obi-Wan's trying to turn you against me." His voice cracked like thunder. Padme shook her head, pleading. "He cares about us, Anakin. He wants to help you." "I don't need him," Anakin snapped. "He's holding me back, just like the Jedi always have. Now I've finally brought peace to the galaxy." Her heart dropped. "Anakin, what are you saying?" Anakin took a step closer, his voice low and certain. "The Republic is corrupt. The Jedi are traitors. Together you and I can make things right." Padme's voice broke. "Anakin, you're going down a path I can't follow." His tone grew desperate. "Because of Obi-Wan?" Before she could answer, he froze. He felt it. That familiar presence approaching through the storm. The ship's ramp hissed open again, and out of the smoke stepped Obi-Wan Kenobi. His cloak fluttered in the sulfur wind, his expression carved with sorrow. Anakin's fury ignited. "Liar! You brought him here to kill me." Padme cried, "No." Obi-Wan's voice was calm, steady, final. "You have only yourself to blame." Padme screamed for them to stop, but the dark side consumed Anakin's mind. His hand rose. Invisible fingers of the Force clutched her throat. "Let her go, Anakin," Obi-Wan cried. The rage faded for just a moment. Anakin released her. Padme collapsed unconscious, the life barely flickering within her. Anakin's eyes snapped back to Obi-Wan. He ignited his saber, a brilliant blue cutting through the darkness. "You will not take her from me." "I will do what I must." Anakin's voice was cold as the void. "You will try." Their blades ignited, and the world exploded in fire. The duel was cataclysmic. Sparks danced in the air as the two warriors clashed, every strike a wordless scream. The platform trembled beneath them. The roar of lava drowned out their shouts. Anakin fought with raw fury, every movement fueled by betrayal and loss. Obi-Wan countered with precision, his face etched in pain. "You were the chosen one," Obi-Wan shouted over the chaos. "It was said you would destroy the Sith, not join them." Anakin parried, snarling. "The Jedi are the ones who betrayed peace. They turned against the Republic. They turned against me." They fought through the refinery's corridors, cutting through steam and machinery. Every room they entered became a battlefield of blue light and molten reflections. Anakin drove Obi-Wan backward, blade after blade crashing down with monstrous strength. Obi-Wan barely kept up, his footwork exact, his counters measured, yet behind his discipline was grief. Anakin lunged. Obi-Wan sidestepped, their sabers locking with a blinding flash. "Anakin, Chancellor Palpatine is evil," Obi-Wan cried. "Then we can kill him together," Anakin roared. "The Jedi are gone, Obi-Wan. You know it. The Republic is dead, and maybe it deserves to be." Obi-Wan hesitated for half a heartbeat, and Anakin struck. Their blades locked again, pressing together, faces inches apart, their eyes blazing. They stumbled into the Separatist Council chamber, the same place where Anakin had ended the war hours before. The smell of charred metal and death filled the air. Their sabers locked again. Sweat dripped down their faces as sparks rained around them. Anakin's voice broke through the noise. "Don't you see, Master? The Jedi were never perfect. They were weak, hypocrites. They fought to preserve corruption, not to end it." Obi-Wan's jaw clenched. "And this?" He gestured toward the corpses. "This is your answer?" Anakin's tone softened, almost pleading. "Sidious used me, Obi-Wan. He used all of us. But we can destroy him, together. We can end this broken system and rebuild it from the ashes." Obi-Wan's expression faltered. His saber wavered. He saw truth in Anakin's words, a truth he'd ignored for years. The Jedi had become enforcers of politics, not peacekeepers. The Republic was rotten. He had served a system that had been dying since before the war began. Perhaps Anakin was right. Perhaps everything needed to burn before peace could be born. He took a step back, breathing heavily. "Would you destroy Sidious?" he asked. Anakin nodded. "Yes. With your help, we can bring true balance to the Force. No Jedi, no Sith, just order." Obi-Wan stared at him for a long time. The boy he'd trained was gone, but standing before him was something else. Not light, not darkness. Something in between. Slowly, Obi-Wan extinguished his blade. "Then we end it together." Anakin's saber lowered. For the first time in years, a small, genuine smile touched his lips. Obi-Wan and Anakin, united once more. Anakin's focus shifted, Padme. "We need to make sure she's safe before we face Sidious." Obi-Wan nods his head in agreement. "I know where to take her." Together they ran back to the landing platform and carried Padme into her ship. Obi-Wan ran into the cockpit and punched in coordinates, and soon they were in hyperspace. Hours later, in the quiet medical halls of Polis Massa, Padme Amidala gave birth to twins, Luke and Leia. Anakin stood by her side, his armor and cloak stripped away, his eyes heavy with exhaustion. Obi-Wan stood across from him, silent and watchful. The newborns cried softly in the sterile light. "They're beautiful," Obi-Wan whispered. Anakin smiled faintly. "They'll live to see a better galaxy than we did." Padme stirred weakly. Her voice was barely a whisper. "Anakin, what have you done?" Anakin knelt beside her. "I did what I had to. For you. For them." Tears welled in her eyes. "You killed everyone you swore to protect." Obi-Wan looked away, guilt shadowing his features. C-3PO and R2-D2 stood nearby. Obi-Wan finally turned to them. "Take care of her. Protect the children. When this is over, we'll return." Padme's hand weakly found Obi-Wan's. "Don't let him fall further." He looked into her fading eyes. "I'll do what I must." But deep down, even Obi-Wan knew that line had already been crossed. Then Obi-Wan and Anakin drew up a plan. Now was the time to act. The once proud capital of the Republic burned beneath a crimson storm. Coruscant's endless cityscape, usually alive with light, now glowed under fire and thunder. The Senate District, heart of galactic democracy, was reduced to ruin. Inside the Senate chamber, the aftermath of Sidious's duel with Yoda lingered like a scar. Senate pods lay overturned, metal twisted and sparking. The Emperor stood at the center, his dark robes torn, his breath shallow but steady. Smoke curled around him like living shadows. His yellow eyes blazed with triumph. "The Jedi," he whispered, his voice echoing through the vast chamber, "are extinct." He raised his hands toward the galaxy map hovering above the central podium. The hologram flickered, reshaping itself into the emblem of the Galactic Empire. His lips curled into a thin smile. "The Republic is mine." But then, The air shifted, a ripple in the force, a disturbance, not faint, not distant. It was close, it was familiar. Sidious froze, eyes narrowing. Two presences approached, strong, determined, and impossibly united. The massive Senate doors hissed open, smoke poured in. Through it stepped two figures, cloaked, resolute, their steps echoing through the silence. Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi, together again. Sidious's smile returned, colder this time. Lord Vader and Master Kenobi. What an unexpected reunion. Anakin said nothing at first. His expression was carved in stone, his blue eyes burning with something deeper than rage. Purpose. "You've lost, Sidious," he said finally, his voice carrying through the chamber like thunder. "Your empire ends tonight." Sidious laughed softly, a rasp that grew into a maniacal cackle. "You disappoint me, Lord Vader. I gave you everything. Power, knowledge, freedom, and yet here you stand, with the Jedi scum you should have destroyed." Obi-Wan stepped forward, his gaze unwavering. "You twisted him. You twisted all of us. But your lies end here." Sidious raised an eyebrow, mock amusement dancing across his features. "You dare lecture me on lies, Master Kenobi? You who spent a lifetime defending corruption, preaching peace while leading armies? The Jedi were blind. You were blind." Obi-Wan's voice dropped, calm but heavy. "Not anymore." The room fell silent. Thunder rumbled outside. Sidious's smirk faded. So, the prodigal sons returned to kill their master. How poetic. Anakin ignited his lightsaber. The blue blade cut through the smoke, illuminating his scarred face. "You're no master of mine." Sidious's expression darkened. So be it. Lightning erupted from Sidious's hands, flooding the chamber in jagged waves of blue fire. The Senate itself trembled, durasteel supports groaned, glass shattered, and the echoes of ancient democracy were drowned beneath the roar of the dark side. Obi-Wan's instincts ignited like muscle memory. He leapt forward, intercepting the first torrent, his blade spinning in tight Sorosu arcs, redirecting bolts into the chamber walls. Each strike illuminated his face, calm, focused, yet burning with conviction. Anakin charged beside him, unrelenting, every step driven by years of pain, betrayal, and fury. Lightning scorched the air around him, but he advanced through it, a silhouette against the storm. His blade crashed against Sidious's crimson saber in a shower of sparks. The duel became chaos incarnate. Sidious roared, unleashing his full hatred. Senate pods wrenched free from their sockets, spinning through the air like meteors. Anakin sliced one apart mid-flight, molten metal raining across the chamber. Obi-Wan jumped onto another, sprinting along its curved surface before leaping down in a flash of blue light, striking from above. The Emperor moved like liquid darkness, his robes tearing through the air as he parried, his power distorting gravity itself. "You cannot defeat me," he spat. "I am the Senate. I am eternal." Obi-Wan's voice cut through the storm. "Not anymore." They fought with perfect synchronicity, the living embodiment of the Force's balance. Obi-Wan's precision met Anakin's ferocity. Defense and offense fused into a single deadly rhythm. Sidious faltered, disbelief contorting his face. The Emperor's speed slowed, his control fractured under the assault of their unity. "You fools," he hissed. "You think you can destroy the Sith?" Anakin stepped closer, his face inches from Sidious's twisted mask. His eyes glowed not with light, but with fire. "No," he growled. "We'll replace them." With a roar, Anakin drove his saber straight through Sidious's chest. The impact sent a shockwave of energy rippling through the Senate. Sidious screamed, a sound that seemed to tear through reality itself. His lightning lashed wildly, scorching the walls, fracturing durasteel beams. Obi-Wan stepped forward, his expression grave, not of hatred, but of grim finality. In a single motion, his blade swept clean. The Emperor's head fell, the sound lost beneath the thunder of collapsing metal. Lightning flared one last time, brilliant, blinding, before fading into silence. Only the hiss of cooling energy and the crackle of distant flames remained. Anakin stood over the fallen Sith, chest heaving, eyes wild. Obi-Wan extinguished his saber and looked out over the ruined Senate. In that silence, there was no triumph, only the knowledge that the galaxy had changed, and that two brothers now stood in the ashes of everything they once swore to protect. When the dust settled, only the two of them remained, standing among ruins of the Republic. Anakin stared at the Emperor's corpse, then turned to the city beyond. "It's done." Obi-Wan looked to him, his expression unreadable. "And now what?" Anakin gazed out the shattered windows. "Now, we rebuild. The galaxy will know peace, real peace." Obi-Wan said nothing. Deep inside, part of him still mourned, for the Jedi, for Padme, for the light he had abandoned. But there was no turning back now. He ignited his saber once more, its blue glow cutting through the darkness. Then let it begin. Side by side, the two men, brothers in blood and shadow, gazed out over the city. The light of their sabers reflected off the metal skyline, two stars in the void. And from the ashes of the Republic, the two tyrants rose. Neither Jedi nor Sith, but something far more dangerous. And that is where we'll end it. If you enjoyed the story, please consider liking and subscribing. Also, let me know if you would like a part 2 for this story. Thank you all for the support. It truly means a lot to me. I'll see you in the next story. And as always, may the Force be with you.